Welcome back to Let's Play. Sorry for the timing there, just seemed a bit odd. So it's been a few days again, which is why you're not hearing me just like, I got you good there, didn't I? Well, the game totally did. What the hell is this, man? Just like, hey, we defeated the final boss, it's the end, right? Yay! And then it's like, nope. No, it isn't. I think you have. This is only works on a second playthrough. Like you gotta clear the game at least once. But yeah, it ain't over. I mean, this game is like nearly 150 parts. Well, not really, but it'll get there. Inevitably will. It's ridiculous, man. We're going June S. It ain't over yet. Georgians. There's no need to be here. You have said goodbye to all the people you have formed close bonds with. You should return to your home to prepare for tomorrow. No! Is there anything you still have left to do? I'm not finished yet, correct? I'll just double check. Yes. Stop by the food court one last time. Yes. The usual food court. This is where you had spent so many afternoons going over the case with everyone. Just sitting here brings back a lot of memories.
Huh? What a coincidence! It must be destiny!
So you guys came here too?
Why?
It's our very own special headquarters. There's so many memories here.
It seems weird, really. It's like our headquarters is pretty much outside June S, which is the equivalent of Walmart, I suppose. And this is our headquarters. Our base of operation is the electronics department.
We had a feeling we'd run into everyone if we came here.
Except if we didn't and just went home.
We were planning on seeing you off at the station tomorrow, but I was feeling too restless, so I decided to come here.
Well, you could have actually gone home, so would everyone have showed up and be like, he's not here actually.
Well, since we're all here, why don't we have something to eat?
Ooh, let's have steak! Steak! And make Yosuke pay for everything.
It's always steak.
Will you shut up about your steaks?
Ha 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 ha. You reminisced with the others.
I really had fun in this world. Dude, your whole existence is about fun. Well, what we've gone through wasn't all fun and games. But I gotta say, I've never felt so fulfilled in my life.
You know, one thing that bothers me, when I was editing the final boss, it's just like, it's been bugging me since. It's just like, the way the whole scene went, it's just like, they're all arrogant as fuck in that scene. Like, when they're like, you don't have a right to exist, and all that, it's like, what the fuck is that all about? Can you imagine that? Like, realistically, an omnipotent frigging being appears, and you say, you have no right to exist. It fucking beam you into fucking smithereens, just like, you insolent fool! And like, when a Dutch is going on and on about, like, just like, everyone really wants to be shadows. That's bullshit. not everyone would want to be like that, but then the main characters are also completely freaking just the way that just like you're the only one who thinks that. Remember like earlier on when you'd overhear students as you walk by, they clearly would have been fine with that from what they were saying, some of them, you know? So for them to say that only Adachi would want that is just so freaking the arrogance just like makes my head explode. Jeez.
It seems we've been working on this forever, but at the same time, it felt like it went so fast. We won't ever gather here again like this, or tear our hair out trying to solve the mysteries. Even if we wanted to talk about it all, there were so many extraordinary things that no one would believe us. Come to think of it, for me, I think it all started when Chie told me about the Midnight Channel.
I think I heard about it from her too. How did you learn about it, Chie?
I guess it was just a random rumor. A lot of girls were trying it out.
Huh. I wonder how it started then.
Who knows? Maybe someone accidentally came across it.
The Midnight Channel. You know, that really was the cause of everything. I mean, the fog lifted after we caught Adachi, but there's still a lot of stuff that isn't clear yet.
There's still a shit ton of plot holes.
It's still foggy over there, too.
Some weird guy might use it to do bad things again.
Didn't that ominous something monster say it granted us power?
I bestowed power onto those who could brave the hollow forest.
You know, I know it's an RPG and all, but it's still mind-boggling. It's always fucking a group of teenagers defeat an omnipotent being. It just doesn't make sense. And not only did they defeat him with the most ridiculous sets of weapons. Sure, you got the sword, you've got the kunai, and then you've got a fucking fan. And a foot, pretty much. So, literally kicked the shit out of him, pretty much. And it worked. Granted, we did use, like, the Persona's abilities, which also makes no sense. Okay, so they can take on, like, these Personas and use them for power. They can use the power of slime, and then escalate really quickly to Lucifer. What the fuck? This just... freaking... why? It makes no sense. Man, trying to think of, like, look at an RPG in a kind of logical way is just... it freaking hurts the brain, man.
In other words, he gave the power to enter TVs to those who awaken to their persona ability, so that he might use us as pawns to enact his scheme.
Really, it's no wonder that pretty much nobody believes them. It's just like, imagine it's like, yeah, we have these personas, and we use the power and kick the shit out of shadows, and we save the world. It's like, yeah. Just like, that's one of those you have to see it to believe it kind of things, isn't it?
Hey, that reminds me. Didn't your hand suddenly slip into the TV even before anything happened to you? Does that mean you're an exception? Well, wait. Then what about Adachi and Namatame? Those two could go inside TVs before all this stuff about personas, right?
What? Then Senpai and the other two could do it for some other reason?
There must be something you're not remembering. Anything come to your mind, Senpai?
No, they're saying that, but Adachi did have a persona, and we didn't ask him about it, did we? It's like, you're gonna pay for your crimes and all that shit. It's like, why didn't you ask him why the hell he had a persona? You didn't ask. At all, even once he was defeated and... Sagiri was also defeated. You didn't ask him, you just said you're freaking gonna pay for your crimes. So they didn't bother to ask that and try to clear things up a little. Namatame didn't have a persona, but he had a shadow. And he'd only been in the TV once. Same with Adachi. So they didn't have time to potentially have that, I suppose. I don't know. You're the only exception. You had the power to enter TVs before your persona awakened. The same goes for Adachi and Namatame. Maybe you're just too badass. You remember that Nanako gave you something this morning as you were about to leave.
A letter? Hey, this better not be another warning.
Wouldn't it be a plot twist if Nanako was behind it all? I remember seeing the theory, like, someone was like, what if Nanako was behind it all and it's just like a really dark turn of events, just like she wants her mother back and is tricked into putting people into the TV in hopes that her dead mother will be brought back to life, and just like, that would be some dark shit right there. The sender is listed as Adachi.
Huh? This is from jail? It's from Adachi.
So, he wouldn't...
I'm sure you're surprised to get this letter out of the blue.
I'm surprised that you didn't read it if you just went home.
I'm writing this because there's something I need to tell you.
No, seriously, man. There's no mention of this unless you do this. It's just like, he gets the letter, but then never reads it, or what?
Ever since I made it out alive, there are some things I understand now. It's true that my game's over. As you all insisted at the time, I'll abide by the rules of this world. But as long as I'm in stir here, I can't clean up after myself. So I hope this will give you something to think about regarding this case. There's still this feeling I can't shake. It's about how it all started, about that midnight channel. Now I remember, someone told me about it when I first came to town, before I heard the rumors at the station. And I was intrigued when I noticed that something similar was written on Namatame's reports as well. But I can't remember who it was that told me. Since Namatame and I both gained our power after coming to Inaba, I have a feeling that has something to do with it. I don't know if any of this will be useful or not, but I hope it can help somehow.
The letter from Adachi ends there. Why Inaba, though? It just... Why?
It's not very helpful to know that he can't remember who it was.
I'm not sure how to put it, but I kind of know the feeling. It's like... I don't know how to say this. Like something's connecting all these things. Something beyond what we can see. That world, the Midnight Channel, the ability to enter TVs. They all feel like separate things. You know what I mean? First the rumors, then the serial murder, followed by us deciding to investigate the case. If they all really were separate, they wouldn't fit together like this, right? There has to be some kind of conductor behind everything.
Just like... a puppet master.
So you think the person Adachi mentioned, the one who told him about the Midnight Channel, is that conductor?
It's like Naruto, man. It's switching from villain to villain. We've gone past the Final Fantasy IX final boss stage.
Did I strike gold again? It's seriously just something that popped into my head.
Senpai, is there anything like that you can think of?
Yes. That's because I know in advance. If this was my first playthrough, I'd be scratching my head. Just like, try to think back to the start of the game. What strikes you as suspicious? That happened early on in the game. The power to enter TVs, where everything about this case started. I learned about the Midnight Channel from Chie a few days after coming to this town when she told you the rumor. But Adachi and Namatame heard about the Midnight Channel from someone immediately after coming to this town. When you think back, you feel as if something happened to you as, well, upon your arrival here. Ooh, if you really think back, like, right at the start of the game, something quite interesting happened that was never brought up again. There is something.
We were involved in a murder case last year, which we succeeded in solving. But the monster we fought last said we did well in playing our parts. Perhaps this means Adachi and Namatame were players as well. Could it be that from the beginning, this serial murder case was merely a portion of a much larger scheme? And none of the people who were directly involved in the case ever suspected it.
But, forget it. Trying to apply logic's
Hey,
just...
this scheme.
I mean, it's freaking... Why these people? Why teenagers every time? It's like the teenagers, they will save the world.
Could it be the whole thing about filling both worlds with the fog and turning mankind into shadows? So someone was behind the scenes watching us. The culprits. And maybe even that monster. And he manipulated Adachi and Namatame at the very beginning so everything would come together perfectly?
It's so ridiculous, really, when you think about it. Okay, so, first, there was freaking... Well, actually, the first one they suspected was that random peeping Tom, which was absolutely ridiculous. Then there was Kubo, and I actually looked up a bit more about his dungeon. Apparently, the translation is a bit screwy, and, like, basically, from what I can interpret is, it seems much more obvious that he isn't a real killer. I mean, aside from, like, the obvious clues, I mean, like, King Moron didn't appear on the TV. He had a cause of death that could actually, you know, be known, instead of, like, the unknown, just like, we don't know what the hell happened to him. And, like, in the dungeon, it says, like, when it shows the first two victims, it doesn't say killed, it only says killed on, King Moron. And there was no real, like, motive brought up for why he killed King Moron, so you can just, like, theorize that maybe at some point he was at Yasagami, and King Moron got him expelled, and just, like, made his life go to shit at some point, and then he ended up going for revenge, suspecting that, apparently, that King Moron, like they did originally, thought maybe he was behind the murders, and thought he'd be a hero if he killed King Moron, and that's essentially what has been interpreted, anyway. It makes sense, but it's such a shame that they completely ditch all that. It's like, okay, this is just a point where we want them to, like, think they've got it, but haven't. Just so he's like, drag it on a bit more, and just like, what? We were wrong? And then they were wrong again. It's like, get to Namatame, it's like, just throw that asshole in the TV. It's like, whoa, wait. And even Nato, the smart one, is like, yeah, just throw him in. It's like, for God's sake, you can't just do that. I mean, she, the one who, like, usually acts more on emotion than thought, was actually just like, whoa, wait a minute, guys. And it turned out he was actually being manipulated and didn't realize what he was doing. It turned out Adachi was the one, and then after we defeated Adachi, it turns out he was manipulated by Amino Sagiri, and now it turns out that maybe even that is manipulated by someone else. It really is like Naruto with these freaking final boss kind of thing going on here, just switching. It's like, I'm the one. It's like, no, you're not. I manipulated, blah, 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 blah. No, I manipulated you, blah, blah, blah. I manipulated you, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, please, I've got a shit ton of you puppets and strings, ha 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 ha. You know?
Let's go out into town. We might find something. Although, you may be the only one capable of noticing it. Please contact the rest of us should you come across anything.
We can't say our goodbyes tomorrow with this hanging over our heads. Let's go figure this out.
You know what? RPGs, like, couldn't they, I don't know, be a bit, like, have a more realistic kind of power levels of some sort, so that it's just, I mean, sure, when it comes to, like, battles, like, they can take, like, a hell of a beating, but at least make it seem a little bit more believable. Like, I don't know, make it so that we don't fight these freaking omnipotent kind of bosses. It just seems mind-boggling that a group of high schoolers could defeat such a thing, you know? That's just never apply logic to an RPG. It will hurt your head because you just be like, ow, my logic senses, ow. I figured in read that. The one you met immediately after coming to town was, it was, what? It doesn't say anything about that. Well, it was both of them, really, wasn't it? Dojima, I think? In any case, you need to see them and confirm the truth. Well, technically, you saw both Dojima and Nanako. At your Junes. We haven't heard the actual jingle that actually says that. It's because Nanako has like been out of the picture for so long that we haven't heard her go, every day's great at your Junes. La 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 la. It's weird, now that everything's become peaceful here, everyone buggers off. Yo!
Hey.
Oh, Michael, have you already finished seeing your friends? I want to talk to you.
Yeah?
What's this all of a sudden? The way you said yeah, you're just like... I don't know. You asked Jim about the first day you arrived in town.
What's wrong?
The day you first came to town. Let's see. We were the first ones to greet you, right? Did we stop somewhere on the way home? Yes. I'm pretty sure me and Nanako left home that afternoon, picked you up and came straight home. No! Now that I think about back to that night, I was called back to work as soon as we got home, so I couldn't talk much. The very next day, the strange murder started. Sheesh, a lot's happened since then. It's been one heck of a year, hasn't it?
Hey, big bro?
On the first date, didn't we stop at that place? The gas station, I used the bathroom there. You have a much better memory than Dojima, and especially me, but I remember that. Because, well, it's a very important plot point. When I got back to the car, you were talking to the weird attendant. The weird attendant?
Well...
When I first met you, I remembered the gas attendant because he was weird. Now that you mention it, I do remember that. I filled the tank before we went home, huh? Yeah, I do remember you talking to the attendant there. Remember when they shook hands? I didn't remember seeing him much before, so he's stuck in my mind. But I don't know about him calling him weird. Wasn't like he looked or acted funny. Yeah, come to think of it, I never saw that guy again. We did. It wasn't really that the attendant looked weird, but after you talked to him, he looked sick, big bro. I looked sick? Don't you remember I asked you on the way home, are you car sick? Remember? He shook hands and then he was like, what the hell? I remember him saying something as well, but I don't think it was about the Midnight Channel. It was about, like, he was like, saying just like part-time or some shit like that. You said you were okay, but that attendant, he was just a little scary for some reason. I didn't know about that. But honestly, I'm surprised you asked all these questions. I thought you came here just to reminisce. So why are you looking for the person you met first? Is something going on with that attendant? Do you know him? Not really.
I see.
Well, just remember that you leave tomorrow. I don't know what you're up to, but you could come back home early. Should come back home early. There's some dark clouds on the horizon. We might get some rain soon. Is there any specific choice they're gonna make here? I understand, I guess. The first place you stopped when you came to town was the gas station. Maybe something there will jog your memory. So let's go for a jog down memory lane. But where would it be? I don't see the gas attendant. Unless we have to take a car. Well, bus. Wait. No, actually we go to the Velvet Room first. Velvet Room! So, he's probably the only one that can see the Velvet Room there, right? Because otherwise it'd be pretty odd that nobody's commented on it.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. How may I help you? You have solved the mystery and deflected the disaster that so nearly fell upon you. Is there something else beyond this you need our assistance with?
Yes, I need your nose, Igor. There's one last thing.
Intriguing. So, is there still something that leaves you unsatisfied?
Yeah, that final boss, as epic as it was with the music and how long it took, it felt a bit anticlimactic.
What may that be?
And the plot holes, of course.
Well then, let's take a look and see what it is you might be sensing. This is a surprise. These are shards of power, allowing one to see through to the truth of things without being swayed by hollow rumors. Interesting. Indeed, you have come here today for a reason. Then I shall play my part as well. That is a crystal of power which you have nurtured through your journey. An orb that repels fabrications of all sorts, dispels lies, and shines upon the truth.
Obtained Orb of Sight.
Truth is a thing which only appears to those who have observed, considered, and made a choice. At the end of the path you chose lies the truth. Believe in it, and continue without faltering.
How marvelous. It seems that you will reveal the journey's true end, one beyond our predictive power. Now go to the place where everything began.
At the gas station. It's a bit of an odd location, isn't it? It's about as random as go back to the place where it all began, at McDonald's. It began raining. Well, that's convenient, isn't it? And I remember, like, the gas attendant, we sometimes saw him, like, there on rainy days, if you recall. Sometimes he'd be there. But didn't make a comment on that, did he? No. It's kind of like how Namatame would randomly appear in town every now and then. Hi there, do you need something? Isn't this where I first, what are you talking about? Oh, is this about the part-time job? I'm sorry we don't have an opening yet. So you do remember that. Do you know Namatame? That serial murder suspect, a real tragedy, wasn't it? But the case was solved, right? Thank goodness. Something else I can help you with? Have you met those two? Well, that's a weird question to ask. True. I don't know if it was right here, but I might have met them before. I've been in this town for a long time, so yeah, there's a good chance. But it's not like I knew them personally. If you got nothing else, do you mind leaving me alone? Oh, you still need something? Hey, I asked you to leave me alone. Did you miss that? Sorry I bothered you. I'm done now. Did you do anything to them? Huh? To those two? Ah, that's right. I remember now. I think I met them when they first came to town. So I greeted them saying, "Welcome to Inaba." But that's all. Just that. What about it? Oh, nothing. Sorry, never mind. What did you do to me? What did I do? Don't you remember? I met you here when you first came to town and did the same thing as that I did to those two. I'm just like, the chuckle. It's just like, it's supposed to be kind of lighthearted. Try not to like sound just like... I agree with you, that's all, remember? We talked for a couple minutes. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Why all these questions? Is there something that's bothering you about the time when we first met? Who are you? Did you give me the power? Yes, there is. Who are you? Amazing. You've reached me at last. Let's drop this charade. To be quite honest, I was waiting for you to come. Adachi, Namatame, and you. It is I who awakened that power within you three. The ones who had potential. But having said that, I am rather surprised. Rather surprised I didn't get any voice acting.
So the last battle wasn't enough for you?
But now I have voice acting and... Does he always look like that then?
He has certainly have the powers I was expecting.
Never seen his face. I mean, if they showed his portrait like that, we would have been like, okay, that character is probably going to be brought up again. What do you mean?
I saw the potential you had within you.
You don't sound like a man.
Your friends were drawn to the spark I stirred in you. That's why they're here now, with their awakened powers. Still, I didn't think you'd make it all the way to me. Indeed, I never expected this at all. You're really something. What? You don't remember? When you first came to town, I gave your power a gentle push. Just like this. Are you in high school?
You can make flashbacks?
Does it surprise a city boy to see how little there is out here? There's so little to do, I'm sure you'll get bored fast. You'll either be hanging out with your friends or doing part-time jobs.
Which is more or less what happens to be the case, really, isn't it?
Speaking of which, we're actually looking for part-time help right now.
Part-time help in this game. We want you to be the protagonist.
Give it some thought, why don't you? We don't mind if you're a student.
Fact, just like for role of RPG protagonist. If you're a high schooler, it makes it more likely that you will be accepted as the protagonist. You felt an extreme dizziness.
You're not the only one I welcomed to town with a handshake greeting. I did the same for a few other outsiders like you.
So, shaking hands well, no, obviously not. But imagine how you shake hands with someone, you suddenly feel dizziness, and then you just like, maybe you're just feeling a bit like dizzy that day, and then you just like, you've played this game, and you're just like, I've got the power of personas now! You're just like, no you don't, you tit.
A handful of strangers were more than sufficient to stimulate a small place like this. But it seems the stimulus was stronger than I imagined. Enough to envelop this town with fog, and later lift it. Not only that, you now stand before me as if your assigned part wasn't enough. What for?
To learn the truth, that is the whole purpose.
What will grab
grasping the truth do for you?
Good point, actually.
Why such greed? I guess it's the foolish nature of being mortal.
I mean, it is like, we just, like, seek answers, and it's just like, if we attained world peace or something like that, just like, you got all this, like, fuck, now what? There's, like, no problems or anything to resolve. No answers to seek. Nothing.
I am Izanami.
Yes. Well, that explains the female voice. What is with your eyes? Have you got Sharingan or something or what?
Amino Sagiri, ruler of the fog, is merely an aspect of myself that I birthed long ago. You awakened to a power I had not imagined. And now, you face me with it. I can no longer ignore this situation as mere foolishness. This may be fate, as decreed by the world.
You know, it seems fitting, really. Izanami, the final real antagonist, the true puppet master, and the protagonist so happens to have the first persona being Izanagi. Of all the personas.
This time I shall pit my full strength against you.
Gods and all that. It was Izanagi that I get. And the final villain, Izanami. Very fitting, but at the same time, just like, it's a bit kind of weird.
But in return, you must come prepared to follow through in your futile resistance. I'll be waiting for you there.
It'd make as much sense if Cthulhu was the one behind all this. He's like, Cthulhu, what the hell? He's just like, yes, you foolish mortal, doesn't it make your head explode trying to comprehend it? The one you just encountered was the entity behind everything. Her name is Izanami. You can hear your friends' voices in the distance. Did you see that shit, man?
Hey, are you alright? Who was that you were just talking to?
What?
Did she just disappear?
Did you not notice her floating?
Wait, don't tell me.
You told your gal's friends what happened between you and the gas station attendant.
So, it wasn't over after all.
You're saying this so-called Izanami is the conductor, and she's waiting for us in the other world?
We were just another musical piece.
If we don't beat her, I'm sure it'll all happen again.
Okay, the others aren't far off, so I'll call them up.
Yeah, will ya? Tell him this is really gonna close the case.
Notice how, like, it's the original four, pretty much. It's like, oh, screw the other ones, like Kanji, Rise, Nato, Teddy. They came after that. But actually, no. Teddy came before, well, no. Yuko was introduced, pretty much, but informally, at that point before we met Teddy, I suppose.
Right. We'll defeat her and put an end to this for sure this time. Alright, then once we're all ready, let's meet up at Juness.
The original four will take on the final boss. But I'm gonna do things a bit differently once we get there, though. You'll finally discover the true cause of everything that happened. And then you find out that Izanami was actually being manipulated by some higher, like, even higher power than even a god. You must defeat this Izanami who waits for you in that other world. I mean, an omnipotent being we defeat, and now you gotta fight a god. It's just not an RPG if you don't fight a god, isn't it? Just like, it just seems so absurd. If Izanami truly gave birth to Amino Sagiri, then as long as Izanami is left alone, the town will definitely fall into this fog again someday. And if that were to happen, everyone, all those precious to you, would become mere shadows. This is the most important task you have faced, and it must be taken care of before leaving town. You must ensure complete peace for this town, where you lived with everyone. But why this town, of all places in the entire world? Really now, why? It's very specific, isn't it? It's like Higurashi with just like very specific location that has that shit. It's like, what's up with that? But we're gonna make a stop at Daidara's, because we've still got shit to sell. But yeah, it ain't over yet. Nobody's... Wait, no, there is actually someone here. It started to rain. I don't have an umbrella, dang it. You know, I have a theory. What if Daidara was the one really pulling all the strings? That and the woman that's in the other shop. Now that'd be a plot twist, just like... You never would expect the final villain to turn out to be like the item shop seller or the armor, weapons, and all that. You'd think just like, my God, you didn't think it was possible. Welcome, it's raining today. On dreary days like this, your heart for art turns to dollar. Maybe it's because I don't see many rare materials. But that's bullshit, because the girl who would stand outside your shop would be like, rare materials can be found. Selling items. But the orb of love, man, you can't sell that. Fort Cross? What the hell's a Fort Cross? Oh, that's a diamond. Iron watch, isn't it? If you have that, I can. Just wait a moment. Strange materials can be found indeed. Here's El Caliente, or whatever. Oh, that's God Tailfeather. What the fuck would that be? Wait just a moment, please. Gonna Google it. Oh, I only got results for Persona 4. I don't know what that's all about, but I apologize for the wait. Nobilis Oblige. Whatever. Oh, that's the love clasp. I apologize for the wait. Here is Hototo Gizu. You suck at pronunciation. Golden film. Holy shit, that's from the golden age of films. Cinema and all that. I apologize for the wait. Secret fan. What's so secret about it? Miracle scale! Holy shit! I'm going to try, I apologize for the wait, but I had to trade Pokemon to see if it would evolve, but apparently not. I just got these demon boots. Holy shit, a scaly lump! What the hell is that? Where'd you find this shit? I apologize for the wait, but here is Phalanx, or whatever. Oh my God, that orb of love. I'm in love. Wait a moment, please. I apologize for the wait. Here is Trome Heart. You're gonna be literally shot through the heart and you are too late. Oh shit, a queen's nail. Holy shit. Did you tear it off the queen herself? Holy shit, what the hell, man? Needle spike. Must have some freaking long nails. Oh my God, a Guruma brocade. Holy shit. Apologize for the wait. Here's Shinra robe. And that's all I got for you. We don't have quite as much money as I would have liked to have. Holy shit, that's a hell of an upgrade. But man, does it do a number on the wallet. We don't get quite as much money back for it. It's like, when you, I've never really done this before, but when I hear people, trading in games to a game shop or something like that, it's like, here it's 20 pence. And it says, 20 pence? Or some shit like that. It's barely get any money. And then they put it on the shelf, pre-owned, and sell it for freaking much more than you freaking got for selling it to them. Well, trading it in to them. It's like, what the hell, man? I give you this game, you give me 20p, you put this on the shelf, and you freaking charge 20 quid. The fuck's up with that? Yosuke got any upgrades? No. GA obviously has. But I like the boots, though. It just seems so weird. It was awesome. Oh God, we're skint now. I will not sell those. Ah, what a shame, though. Apparently, though, in this one, we can actually go back to the stores anyway, even while in the TV, which I think is a first, but I hope that's the case, because there's still some upgrades to buy and all that, but we just don't got the money. So let us not forget that every day's great as your jeunesse. How about a metal version of it? Every day's great at your jeunesse. I always do it in that kind of way. I don't know why. But can you imagine like heavy distorted guitars like playing that jingle just like and like I don't know. I don't know how you do the jingle on guitar, honestly. I probably could figure out if I tried. Tend to like I underestimate my ear, honestly. I'm just like I can't possibly learn this by ear. I rely so heavily on tab, but if I just like play long enough, it's just like I figure it out. Just like, oh, I could do that all along. In other news, though, one of my guitar strings snapped, and I was mightily quite annoyed. Luckily, I've been playing more bass than electric guitar lately, because it's kind of fun to just like play bass. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And all that. But anyways, I shall see you next time, viewers. See you next time.